Yo, what is going on, guys? It's your boy, Noah. Welcome to the Chill Chat. This is the chillest podcast you will ever listen to in your entire life. That's just how it is, guys. I don't make up the rules, I just relay them to you. Guys, man, Big Brother 22 is finally here, and that's what this podcast is all about, Big Brother. So, that's what we're talking about, Big Brother 22. The cast, I don't know about y'all, but I think for the most part the cast is pretty good. There's some changes I would make, but today in this episode we're going to talk about the premiere. But first, we're going to go through every single cast member. That's kind of what I want to do, is just go through the cast, talk about them, and give my thoughts. This is a non-visual podcast, meaning it's just an audio version. I mean, there's a video, but there's not going to be any actual video on the video, if that makes sense. It's just going to be like a picture of the cast or something. But regardless, here we go. So, Christmas Abbott, Abbo, I don't know what's her last name. Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce that. But Christmas is the first person on the list on the CBS website, so we're going to talk about her. So, you think Christmas and you think of Josh, and even if you don't like Paul, you think of Paul, and you're just like, ew, Christmas, that's gross. But, I think that she is somebody that deserves another chance for a number of reasons. One, I feel like she suffered the guilt by association with, being a part of that threesome in Big Brother 19 with Josh and Paul, especially Josh, because Josh is just probably my least favorite house guest to ever step foot in the Big Brother house. But you've got Christmas, and she is someone who I think, like I said, deserves a second chance. She broke her foot. Was it her foot last season? 19. I think it was her foot that she broke, piggyback riding on Jason's back. And, so she was instantly at a disadvantage. She was, voting from the hospital, all doped up on meds, and voted the wrong person out. That one eviction, she just should not have stayed in that season, personally. But, it is what it is. So, Christmas is in the cast. I'm okay with this pick. I can't really think of anybody that I would replace, There's not anybody that I would, kick out for Christmas' spot. I think that, maybe she's not an all-star, but there's a lot of people in this cast that aren't really all-stars. They just are kind of getting second chances, and I'm okay with that. Christmas is definitely someone who went far. Is she an all-star, or did she just have a good social game? I don't know, but regardless, Christmas is in the cast. Overall, I think Christmas is a good choice because she has a lot of potential to do well on her own, and it'll be fun to see her without Paul and Josh, because I remember me liking Christmas at the very start, and then, Josh just kind of ruined it for her. So this is Christmas's time to shine on her own, and we'll see what happens. The next person on the list for CBS.com is David Alexander. This man is not an all-star. I think we can all agree. I'm not going to beat around the bush, and I'm not going to beat a dead horse. Neither. I'm not going to, talk about the fact that he's not an all-star, because we all know it. We all know David's not an all-star. He literally was evicted day one. Day one. He was evicted. He didn't even make it to a live episode. So, that's David for you. Unless, being a camp comeback counts, but yeah. So David was evicted day one, obviously not an all-star. I'm a little upset by this choice. I definitely feel like there was other males to choose, but then again, I also feel as though he was a last-minute addition to the cast. That's kind of my thoughts, is they're like, okay, we need somebody, and then they sent out 100 phone calls at once, and David was the first one to say yes. I don't know. But, I guess if you're trying to implement second chances as well, then David being in makes sense. But man, he is not an all-star. Oh well, I was watching the feeds, and I was watching him interact with Ian, and they were talking about where they were from. Like David was talking about Houston, and then they were talking about David being from California. And then I also saw David interacting with Nicole Anthony, and then talking to Tyler Crispin. So he was talking to a lot of people in the house, and I could tell that he's really going to try to play the social game this season, and I think that's his best bet, seeing as he went out first, I think David's got a really good chance of skating by him this game and making it a lot farther than he did before. He's probably going to be a pawn a lot. I would imagine he's going to be like the Victoria from Big Brother 16. He's probably going to get put up a lot. But, as long as he can stay off the block and keep his cool, then he can make it really far. So, David, he's all right. I don't really have too much to say about him because there's not really much about him that we know, He didn't really do much in the last season, obviously, so it's interesting to see what he will do, and I'm excited because I think that David has the potential to go far, especially with his circumstance in an all-star season not being an all-star. It'll be interesting. That or everyone will gang up on him and be like, you're not an all-star, get out of here. I don't think that'll happen, but it could happen. The next person, Nicole Anthony. What do I think of Nicole Anthony? I wish we didn't already know this cast. That's what I'm a little bummed about. I wish we had some surprises, but it's okay. Nicole, Nicole's pretty cool. I was watching Big Brother 21, and for the longest time, I did not like Nicole. I just thought she was weird. The whole thing about her locking her parents in the basement kind of creeped me out, and I just thought she was a weirdo for the longest time. But I guess the toxicness of, what were they called? Grateful or hateful, that alliance, like the toxicness of them kind of made me like Nicole more. And then by the end of the game, I found myself rooting for her to win. Personally, I liked Cliff a lot. In Big Brother 21, I know people are like, Cliff, gross, he sucked. And yeah, Cliff was pretty bad, but he was just funny to watch, for me anyways. But Nicole, man, she is someone who has a lot to prove. Because she got third, but she didn't really do much, She had a great social game, but that's it. So I wonder if they will keep her around because she's not very good at comps. So as long as Nicole Anthony can win comps, that's her biggest thing, man. That's what Nicole needs to do. She needs to win comps, and then she is chilling, and she's good. The next person that we're going to talk about is Danny Breonis. I think that's how you pronounce the last name, Breonis. Danny Donato, originally. What do I think of Danny? I'm going to be honest. I haven't seen every Big Brother season, and I have not seen her seasons. However, I have, seen like social medias and things like that. Like, I'm aware of basically everybody for the most part. The popular house guests, the people that are relevant. And, I think that Danny is probably one of my top 5 in this game. I've really liked her on social media. I've always followed Evil Dick because he's always had a lot of information about stuff going on. Recently, I unfollowed him because I realized he's very toxic and just an annoying person. But Danny is like the complete opposite of him. And, she was just somebody that you just got to root for, she got second place to her dad. Like, that's got to suck, So I'm rooting for Danny. I think that it would be cool to see her make it far. And I was watching the live stream on Derek Lavoster's, I think that's how you pronounce his last name, on his Instagram page. And Danny's husband, I think his name's Dom, was on there, and they were like talking together about Danny and stuff, and just some of the stuff that they were saying about her and some of her strategies. It was making me like really root for her. I was excited. The next person on the list on CBS.com is Cody Calafiore. Cody from Big Brother 16. I am very excited to see Cody. When we had rumors of Cody being on the season, I think that was around the same time that Derek was, saying, like, people were saying that Derek was going to be on as well. Derek eventually ended up pulling out because his daughter didn't want him to go. I still think we need to cancel his daughter, personally, or I was all over everywhere going, #Derek's daughter is over party, because I was like, man, she couldn't have just sucked it up for a summer, and just been okay with him leaving, obviously. I get it, but I was really bummed out by that. But yeah, Cody, super excited to see him in the game. It's going to be really fun to see him and Memphis together. I'll talk about Memphis in a little bit. But, Cody is, the person that was in Derek's shadows the whole time of the season, basically. Even though Cody was doing a lot of the work, he doesn't get a lot of the credit, and it'll be really fun to see him in the game and see what he's doing. He's currently the head of household, the first HOH. I think he's got a big target on his back. We'll see how he handles that situation, and we'll see what Cody does from here. I'm excited to see Cody. Big Brother 16, I think, was the first season that I had watched in full, and, so that's naturally got a special place for me, but I'm really excited to see where Cody goes, and I'm just super stoked as a whole, because I think that Cody's going to do some dope stuff this season. I hope he goes far. I really do. Okay, next, we have Kevin Kc Campbell. I have no idea. I don't know anything about Kevin. I didn't watch Big Brother 11. I didn't even watch the boot order. I didn't even know the eviction order for that season. So, I don't know anything about Kevin. I can't give you my opinion on him. The only thing I could say is based off of what I saw from the first episode on him, and he seemed like he was going to get old fast. He's just really, really, really extroverted, and he kind of comes off as a little annoying at first, but who knows, he may grow on me, but I don't have anything really to say about Kevin because I don't know anything about him. All right, next we have Tyler Crispin. Guys, I am beyond excited for Tyler this season. Big Brother 20 is one of my favorite seasons. Personally, if I could bring any male back from that season, I would bring back Brett. I love Brett. I think he's awesome. He's one of my favorites of all time. He's super funny, but obviously Tyler's a better game player than Brett. But I'm going to be honest, towards the end of Big Brother 20, I did not like Tyler at all. I still thought he should win the season. I think that Kc was a super undeserving winner. I know that's a hot take, but that's just me personally. But Tyler, it's not that I didn't like him, it's that I didn't like Angela. I could not stand Angela. She's probably one of my least favorite females to ever step foot in the game. Just super annoying, and as a whole, just wasn't much about her that I liked. So, I would say Tyler is going to do great this season without Angela. Hopefully, I think that he's just going to be a lot more, rootable. Rootable, is that a word? Easy to root for. He's going to be a lot more likable now that he doesn't have Angela by his side, unless he acts like Angela did. I don't know. But regardless, what I do know is Tyler's a great game player, and I hope that he plays a great season. And, I'm just excited. I'm excited for Tyler this season. All right. The next person we have is Bailey Dayton. I'm not going to talk too much about her. I know that this is going to get me a lot in trouble for saying this, but I hate Bailey. I can't stand her. I think that she's overrated, and I don't like her. There's nothing redeeming about her personally. She got married to a dude that she had known for 23 days. And of all the people, it's Swaggy C, that guy. Okay. What else is there about her? There's a controversy with the Kevin Cancer Fund. Kevin, I cannot pronounce his last name, from Big Brother 19. And I love Kevin. I think he's a beast. And so there's a controversy about her, Swaggy, and I think it was someone else, stealing some of the money from his cancer fundraiser. There's that. And then there's just the fact that Bailey is so egotistical and so narcissistic. She thinks that she's a great competitor and that she runs the game. She did nothing. She got 11th. That's not an impressive placement. And she just needs humbled. And I would love to see Bailey go first. And she's a bitter juror. I hate bitter jurors. I know people think, oh, there's nothing wrong with a bitter juror. It just means you're bad jury management. Yeah, to an extent. But Bailey, it was personal. With her and Tyler, it was personal. I mean, yeah, the fight that they had, Tyler could have handled it better. But at the end of the day, Bailey did not recognize that his game was better than hers. And it was just a bitter juror, man. And that rubs me the wrong way. When people are bitter jurors and they can't put feelings aside, then that really bothers me, Because Haley Brocker from season 20 knew that Tyler had totally screwed her and backstabbed her, but she still voted for him to win because she knew that he was the better player. Bailey is not like that. It's not in her DNA to, get over herself. And I know that's gonna get me in a lot of trouble because I don't like Bailey at all. But I'll just leave it at that. Next person. Also, Bailey, I hope she's first boot. But anyways, next person. Nicole, Fran, Zell. I don't like Nicole, I don't. I don't like her at all. I am one of the people that believe that Paul should have won Big Brother 18. He should have, That's just, I also think he should have won 19, but that's beside the point. I just don't like Nicole, man. There's just something about her I just don't like. In Big Brother 16, she was fine. I had no problem with her in 16. It was 18, man. There's just, I don't know. I don't know what it was. She rubbed me the wrong way, and I just could never get behind her. And that's really all I have to say about Nicole. Hopefully she redeems herself and is a lot more enjoyable. But, she is just not one of my favorites, personally. Memphis Garrett is next, Mr. Memphis Garrett. First off, I think we can all agree he looks totally different. His voice is different. Everything about Memphis is just so different, and it's honestly cool. Like, it's neat to see. I just finished watching Big Brother 10 here recently, and, for those of you that know, Memphis obviously gets second place. Watching the season, I did not expect him to go that far at all. Like, I did not expect Memphis to go that far. He's just not the personality type that you expect to get that far, And sure enough, he gets second place, losing to the great Dan Giesling. Memphis being one half of the Renegades and Cody being one half of the Hitmen, I would love to see the Renegades and the Hitmen come together and form a duo. I think a lot of people are expecting that, so they might not do it. But I would love to see it happen. I know Derek on his Instagram Live said that he would love to see it happen. And I think they're both great game players. Both of them fell victim to their better duo in the jury vote. And it will just be fun to see Memphis back. I'm going to be honest. Whenever I was watching Big Brother 10, I did not like Memphis for a while. It wasn't until he kind of turned on the house and became friends with Dan and started working with Dan and started working with Keisha and Rennie. And they formed that kind of four-way alliance. That's whenever Memphis started to get a lot more, ignore my phone, that's whenever I started to enjoy Memphis a lot more. And Memphis really grew on me. And by the end of the season, I really liked them. And then I was hearing rumors that Memphis was coming out of the season as I was watching Big Brother 10. So I'm like, okay, obviously Memphis has to do something. He's getting picked for All-Stars. Then again, David just got picked for, I don't know, poops and giggles, I guess. But I'm looking and I'm watching this season. I'm like, man, how is Memphis an all-star? I don't get it. And then as it kept going, I was like, oh, wow, okay, I understand. And then, Memphis, hopefully he learned from his mistakes. He had horrible jury management. I mean, he's literally like the only person in Big Brother U.S. history to lose unanimously. So, I hope that he learned from his mistakes and doesn't make 8 different deals that he can't keep. That seems to be a theme with a lot of people. Paul did it. Tyler did it. Memphis did it. They all lost. Cody didn't. He just, went up against Derek. So I think that Memphis will be fun to watch. And overall, man, he's just, it's a wild card choice, and I'm really excited for him to be back. So I hope Memphis does well. I really do. He is probably the number one male that I'm rooting for in the house. Memphis. All right, guys. Next we have Enzo Palumbo? That sounds right. So Enzo, I did not watch his season. I can't say anything about him. He seems cool, but I didn't watch his season, so I'll just leave it at that. That's really all I know. I'm sorry. I know that's lame, but that's all I know. So yeah. All right, next we have Janelle. Obviously, Janelle's the queen. She's the best. I would have loved to have seen somebody else from Janelle's time. I mean, granted, we have Kaser. Is it Kaser? Is that how you pronounce his name? I think so. Or Kasar. I don't know. I think it's Kaser. I don't know. You guys have to correct me. But, other than Kaser and Janelle, there's nobody from that time, And I'm just excited to see Janelle back. She's obviously a legend, the best Big Brother player to never win. And I think that she's going to be a huge house target. But I would love to see Janelle work her way all the way to the end. I'm okay with Janelle winning, honestly. I think that'd be really cool. And I think we're all rooting for Janelle, deep down. We all have to root for Janelle. I mean, how do you not? Plus, she's gorgeous, so there's that, Next, we have Kaser. Is it Kaser? I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I do not remember much about him. He is probably the favorite house guest from America. Voted back in by like 80% or something of the vote whenever he was evicted. And he was in the original All-Stars. So him and Janelle are the only original All-Stars to come back for the new All-Stars. And I'm excited, man. I'm excited. It's going to be fun to see. And overall, I don't really have much to say about him because I don't really remember much about him. But, Kaser, man, we'll see what he can do. Hopefully he can make jury because he never made jury and he always wanted to. Devon Rogers is next. Devon, man. What is there to say about Devon? She seems like she's going to do a lot better this season than previously. she seems like she has kind of learned from her mistakes, and seems like she's matured a lot, you know? It feels like we just saw Devon, but she hasn't been on since 18, you know? 3 or 4 years ago, so... I guess it's been 4 years ago, right? Because I was in, 2016. Yeah, so, you know? Devon's had a lot of time. I think she was on the challenge as well. And people say the challenge is harder. It's more challenging, if you will. And I'm excited for Devon, man. I really think that she's going to do well. And I hope that she is reserved like she seems like she is. And, you know, there's just something about Devon she's easy to root for. She just seems like a really great person. So I'm excited. Plus, she retweeted one of my tweets before, so, you know, gotta have that bias for her. But Devon, man, I'm excited for her. All right. We're down to the last two. And the first one is good old Keisha Smith from Big Brother 10. Keisha looks different, man. She really does. Wow. Her and Memphis both. Maybe it's not that they look different. Well, they do, but I also haven't seen them. Like, I don't follow them on social media or anything, so I haven't seen them from Big Brother 10 until now. So obviously, 12 years, I think, is the time zone between those two seasons, or the time frame. Like, obviously, they're going to look different. Memphis looks really different, but Keisha looks pretty different, too. But what do I think of Keisha? I'm excited. She's an all-star. A lot of people are sleeping on her. A lot of people are just like, who's Keisha, you know? And I'm like, come on, it's Keisha. Like, Keisha was a beast at Big Brother 10. She was, like, house target number 1 forever. But she learned to associate herself with bigger threats. You know, she associated herself with Libra, and that got her far. And then she became friends with Dan and Memphis, and that kept her some power and kept her some protection. And then also, the big thing that she did was being friends with Rennie, I think, helped her out a lot in the long run, because whenever Rennie got evicted, Keisha stayed. If Rennie was out, Keisha probably would have went. Then if it was Keisha versus Memphis, I think that Memphis would have stayed, because at that point Memphis had to deal with Jerry, and Dan had to deal with Memphis, you know, the Renegades. So, Keisha getting out, shocker, not really, but she got 4th. Her eviction was super sad, you know, because she was like in this final 3 deal, and then they just are gonna evict her, just like that, you know. And she's just like crying, and she's just like, you can't even just tell me that you're evicting me. But you know, it kind of led to Dan Giesling being a beast and being like, yo, listen, Keisha, it's not my decision, it's Memphis, you know? And, like, Dan played a really good game. But anyways, it's not about Dan, it's about Keisha. I love Dan, by the way. But, yeah, so Keisha, heartbreaking eviction, and I would just love to see her in this season. I'd love to see her do well, you know? Hopefully she can win some comps, because she didn't really win a whole lot in Big Brother 10. I mean, she flopped a lot more than she won. And, you know, she did win that clutch double eviction to send Ollie home. But then again, it's Ollie. You know, what's Ollie going to do? You know? But I am excited to see Keisha this season. I'm rooting for her, and I hope that she does well. And hopefully she gets some of the recognition that she deserves. I mean, she's a former America's Favorite Player. Like, you know, people got to like her. Or America's Favorite House Guest. The last person, Ian Terry. What does there to say about Ian? I didn't watch his season. I'm going to be honest. There's a lot of seasons I didn't see. I'm sorry, guys. Ian is no exception. I did not see his season, but I know that he won. Derek referred to him as one of the smartest people to ever play the game, and I know that he was a part of the Quack Pack, I think is what it was called, that evicted like Mike Boogie and a bunch of people. So I'm excited to see what Ian does this season, and that's really all I have to say about Ian. I'm sorry. I don't know much about him. I don't. He seemed cool, but, you know, that's all I know. That's all I know. I know he's young. He's 29 and he's already got gray in his hair. That's crazy. Craziness. But yeah. I'm dropping stuff. But yeah, so Ian, you know, former winner. I think he's one of 2 winners. Is there only 2 winners? Ian and, who am I thinking of? Ian and Nicole? I think that's it, right? I'm looking through the cast. Yeah, Ian and Nicole, that's it. So I wonder if they're going to be threats for being the only 2 winners. Who knows? Who knows? I think it'd be cool if they brought back only winners. That'd be fun. Just don't bring back Josh or Casey. Because, you know, it's Josh and Casey. But yeah, guys, so that is the cast. Overall, I think it's a good cast. I'm not going to be, like, complaining that certain people are on, because I think the general consensus is that a lot of people pulled out from this season. Like, I know Derek and Dan had once agreed to it, and then they pulled out from the season. I think Hayden Moss from Big Brother 12 was rumored to be in, and then he pulled out from the season. Who else? Josh and Casey were supposed to be in, and then they tested positive for COVID is the rumor, which I'm glad because I don't like either of them. Who else pulled out from the season? There was a lot of people. I know Donnie was rumored at one point from Big Brother 16, and he's not in here now. Kat from 21 was rumored. Who else was rumored? I'm not too sure, but what I do know, a lot of people were rumored, but I think Hardy from Big Brother 2 was rumored at one point. Like, Hardy, what the heck? Paul pulled out from the season. Paul was cast and then pulled out, or he turned it down. Frankie supposedly turned it down. I don't know if I believe that. Who else turned it down? There was someone else that said they turned it down, and it was like, they were not very exciting. I don't remember. Maybe the name will come to me later. But regardless, I'm not going to complain about the cast because a lot of people that I would have cast were already asked and turned it down or backed out. So you can't really be upset about who agreed to go on the show, It's not like David was the first choice. Obviously, he was a last-minute addition. I know Memphis said that he was a last-minute addition, which kind of surprises me because I think it's smart to bring in Memphis and Cody because they are the other half of the iconic character, or the iconic person, Dan and Derek, the other half of Dan and Derek, Cody and Memphis. So I think that them coming back is a smart choice, and I'm excited to see them back, man. I really am. After the first episode, who are my rankings? I do have a ranking made for this season. Let me see if I can find it. This is something I should have up, It's kind of a little unprofessional on my part for not having it up. But from what I've heard, also, just to talk really quickly about some things, apparently Memphis and Keisha do not get along still. 12 years later. So that'll be interesting to see. But yeah. So, my rankings. Let's go through my rankings. I ranked them all 1st to 16th. This will obviously change. This is just kind of going off of who they are and how I felt during the episode. So, 16th, I have Bailey, of course. I mentioned I don't like Bailey at all. 15th, Nicole Zell. I don't like her. 14th is Kevin. I don't know anything about him, but he seemed kind of annoying. 13th is David. It's nothing against David. It's just watching the episode, I was kind of upset that David was on and not someone else. So this was my ranking that I made last night when the episode aired. 12th, I have Enzo. I know nothing about him. 11th is Christmas. Until she proves herself, she's going to be low on my rankings. 10th, Kaser. I know nothing about him. 9th, Devon. It's Devon, she's at 9th. I don't have any problem with her. She's just at 9th, I like a lot of people in this cast. 8th is Ian. I don't know much about him, but he just seemed super funny in the episode, and so that's why I put him kind of high. 7th is Nicole Anthony. Like I said, I wasn't really the biggest fan of Nicole for a while, but she grew on me, and I'm excited to see what she does. 6th is Tyler. Of course, I really like Tyler. I have no problems with him. 5th is Keisha. I'm really looking forward to Keisha being an underdog this season, and I hope that she does really well, but she might be a first boot. I have a bad feeling that she's going to be a nominee. 4th is Janelle. I love Janelle. Of course, it's Janelle. How could you not root for her? 3rd is Danny. Danny's a beast. I think she's awesome. I'm really excited to see what she does. Also, Danny's gorgeous. Got to throw that in there. Janelle as well. A lot of them are. 2nd is Cody. I'm kind of shocked that I had Cody this high. I really like Cody, obviously, but I don't know. I figured I'd had Janelle or Danny above him, but regardless, Cody is 2nd. And then 1st, this is going to be a shock for some of you probably, but Memphis. I have Memphis at 1st. I think I have Memphis at 1st just because I just watched Big Brother 10, so he's kind of in my brain. And also, I think that he has a really big redemption story working for him. And plus, he just looks so different. It sounds so different. It's just fun to see him again looking like a big old grown-up. And I'm just excited as a whole. But those are my rankings. The episode as a whole I liked. I'm excited to see what happens. Predictions. A lot of people think that Kaser and Keisha are going to be the first noms, or Enzo and Keisha. I have no idea. I can't really make a prediction because I don't know. But I'm going to keep watching the live feeds, and I'm going to try to come up with an answer for you guys, and maybe I'll comment on this episode and let y'all know. So, this podcast is going to happen either every episode or every week. I'm not too sure. These episodes are not going to be edited, so I apologize. I'm a little stuffed up right now, so I apologize for you guys having to listen to me sniff or cough or, do whatever this season. A lot of bodily sounds. I apologize, Some nice ASMR for you. Hopefully the next episode I'll be a little cleared up. I think the next episode is Sunday, and that's where we find out, we just get to see, like, DRs and just a real introduction of the house guests again, and then them talking to each other. Excuse me. And then we also get to see the nomination ceremony. I am going to try to avoid spoilers, but it's really hard. If you get on Twitter at all, you're probably going to get spoiled, the nominations and things like that. So I guess if I have to make a prediction right now, I'm going to say Cody nominates Keisha, and he nominates David. That's what I'm going to say, Keisha and David. I think he's going to pick two people that he doesn't feel threatened by, and I'll go with Keisha and David. That's it. And if I had to predict a first boot, I'm going to say Keisha. I don't want her to be first boot, but I don't know. Everyone just seems like Keisha's just kind of there, and I don't know why. I like Keisha and hope that she does well, and it proves everyone wrong. But who knows? Cody might try to do something big and, like, backdoor Janelle week 1. I don't think that would go well for Cody, but I don't know. I know if I was him, I'll do this real quick before I get off the episode. If I was in Cody's shoes, Cody or anything, let's just say me as a person, I'm replacing Cody in this cast, and I win first HOH. I am going to use this as an opportunity to form an alliance, like what Tyler did in Big Brother 20. And if I can't get an alliance and, like, it just seems like people aren't willing to work with me, then I'm just going to say screw it, and I'm just going to go balls to the walls the first week, and I'm putting up, I'm probably going to put up Ian and Nicole Zell, because they are the two winners in the house. And then if one of them comes off the block, I'm backdooring Janelle. That's what I'm doing. And I know that's a dumb move, but I'm just going to go up there to be memorable and to have fun. And so that's what I would do. Strategically, the smart thing to do would probably be to put up, David and maybe Nicole Anthony, because they, didn't do anything in their seasons. I mean, I don't think Nicole won much. I think she won like a power veto, and she won the double eviction head household, I think. Nicole Anthony, but she wasn't known for being a comp beast. She was known more for a social game. And then David obviously lost to Jessica Milagros and Cliff Hogg the third. And then who was the other person he lost to? Kimmy? Maybe it was Kimmy. Like, he lost to 3 people that sucked at comps. So, I love Cliff, but come on. How do you lose to those 3 people? But regardless, that's probably who I would put up. If someone was taken down, I would just get house consensus and put that person up. I would just try to go with the house, but if I didn't have any influence from the house and they didn't give me names, then those would probably be my 2 nominations, David and Nicole Anthony. But what are your guys' nominations? I'm interested to see, so let me know in the comments down below. Also, guys, so here's the deal. We're making a new channel. This is called The Chill Chat, I think is what we're going to call the podcast. And it's solely Big Brother. As of right now, maybe whenever the Big Brother season ends and you guys want me to keep going, or you don't want me to keep going, then, we could decide from there. I could talk about previous seasons that I'm watching. I could watch seasons and then talk about them, like, weekly or something. Or, like, every week I go through, I could talk about that week and how I'm feeling. But I know that if I do that, I'm going to get a lot of spoilers probably, so I probably won't end up doing that. I don't know. It's just up to what you guys want. But I'm going to link the new channel in the description below that you guys can go follow and subscribe to and watch the podcast, the future episodes, excuse me, right there, and that will be something that you guys can go do. So make sure you guys go over to the new channel, because this is the only episode that's going to go on the main channel most likely, and I hope that you guys are excited for the remainder of the season. I know I am, so thank you all for watching. I hope you all have an amazing rest of your day. Peace out, guys.